So one of the videos, the first video that impressed me about our country's greatest injustices, that surprised me a lot because I had no idea how much injustice takes place with women. And I thought it was interesting what Shirley, I think her name was, said when she talked about how the history of injustice, of how there was slavery, and one of the biggest injustices we have today is against women. And it was interesting to me to hear those stories of how there's a lot of women that go through a lot of trials through like prostitution, and it's not just a couple of countries, it's so many people, especially in these developing countries. And it was crazy to me to know that there's so many opportunities that we could give those people too. For example, some of those solutions are giving them more economic access. I remember the story that she said about how how there was the family that was able to afford I think it was a goat, and slowly with that money earned they were able to bring their daughter to school. And that is really important. I realized too how important that education is for women, because that gives them the opportunity to progress and learn more. And statistics say that women that have an education are going to be able to get more equality among genders. And you can obviously see that they'll have more access to jobs, and they won't have to rely on so much on men. For example, in the movie we watched today in class, one of the movies we watched about women, it was interesting to see like how they had so many like babies, and they were so reliant on the men. And if they have that education, I thought it was they will be able to progress and have more equality. I just thought about too the own country that I'm studying, Haiti, and how there is a lot of women that rely on men for a lot of things, and it's not just a cultural thing, but men can do construction and do other things that women don't have access to, and they rely heavily on them, and that reliance creates a lot of abuse too. Regarding the other movie that I saw about how the rise of women, and that's kind of surprised me too. I didn't really think of like how the roles of women is changed in our culture a lot. Like just in the movies you can see how it used to be like guys that were the heroes, but now you see women with guns and women that are the bosses of companies and running CEOs, and I just thought that was really cool. And also something interesting that I realized is in Haiti, the women are the ones that are more likely to stay in school, interestingly, because they're more willing to learn, I guess. And boys, the younger boys can't like pay attention, I guess, or stay in school nearly as good as the women. And it seems like maybe in the future in Haiti that it's going to be the women that are going to have ultimate control, because they're going to be able to have that education. And yeah, it surprised me too, like that how much women's roles are just getting so much better. And then in the third video of technologies, it was interesting to me to see how much like our culture is defined by machines and by things, because those little simple things like a dishwasher give families time to do other things like read books or go to school. And I didn't realize how important like those little things that we have are, like a dishwasher, or just to wash clothes, or to how we have food that comes instantly, and it allows us to have more time to do other things like go to school and other things. And it made me realize how that is a key component to help other countries progress, especially in countries where the women are the ones working really hard. They're the ones that are doing most of the labor in the patriarchal societies. And if they were given access to better technologies and better economic circumstances, it's clear that they would be able to progress, be able to have more time to read, and yeah. And one sec. There's one thought I had. But yeah, just that it brings more educational opportunities to women, and from a celestial perspective of that too, I feel like women deserve to be allowed to have that access just as men are, and it seems like they're the ones that are they're the ones that are making such a huge impact on the world today, for me at least, and I think it's good. Like I personally believe that allowing women to have more rights is helping the world a lot better. I think if there was more women leaders, we wouldn't have as many problems as we do. And yeah, that's all.